welcome the audience, welcome Srishti and welcome Hardik. And just to tell our audience, you can leave your questions on www.themediarumble.com/live in the comment section. I repeat, at mediarumble.com/live, where you can see this streaming. In the comment section, you can put your questions. My colleague will pass those on to me. And one more quick announcement. Mr. Of course, one Hardik is here. Hansal Mehta is going to be joining us shortly. He had to finish a meeting, and that was exactly at 8:30. And Ashwin Madon, who was our fourth panelist, actually texted last night. He had an accident and is in hospital, but he's fine. It's a minor injury. He'll be fine soon, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. And I wish he had, because I loved his film Mandela, and I hope you guys have watched it as well. So let me start with the two who we have now. That was a short introduction, but I will introduce you further and through your work to our audience. So Srishti, who I can also be fortunate enough to call my friend, जिनको मैं कई सालों से जानता हूँ. She has actually worn several hats. She's been a producer. Rose Films has made films and over 1,000 hours of television and video programming. And she has also headed Netflix division for fiction, right? You commissioned fiction.
Film.
Because they have a documentary section, and that's how you.
And a series as well.
So let me start with you. First of all, congratulations. One of the series that you commissioned, Serious Men, has got an Emmy nomination. Is that right?
Yes, one of the films I used to head film for Netflix India. Serious Men is one of the films that I'm super proud to be able to commission and work on with the wonderful Sudhir Mishra. And the amazing Nawazuddin Siddiqui has just been nominated for International Emmy. So like I was saying to him, let's bring it in, bring it home.
Congratulations. Yes, congratulations. And of course, I also, before I start off with Srishti, I'd like to say Hardik, I'm thrilled that he's on this panel and could make the time, because when I saw his film Kamyab, I texted him, I messaged him on Twitter, and I was like so blown away, because I'm a 70s, 80s kid, and that entire wo jo character artists hote the, I was like, dude, this is so bang on, and it had such a sense of what do you call it? What's the English word I'm missing? Nostalgia for me. So thank you, Hardik, for that film. It made me feel really good, and lots of others. Now, Srishti, let me start with you, because you have been on both sides, and now you're back on the producer's side. OTT was supposed to be the biggest game changer in storytelling. When our guest joins, Hansalji, we will figure out he made that 1992 scam, which was very successful.
Amazing.
And there are so many OTTs that are based on political stories, or even of not political stories, or what Hardik co-wrote, Patal Lok. It has such a real texture. Do you think, and you also come from a family of filmmakers, your father made Pukar and some big blockbusters back then. Do you see OTT as the biggest game changer when it comes to storytelling about stories that we actually see around, or have there been other big busts as well?
I think every couple of years, what happens is that there's a new medium of distribution that comes our way. So when linear television first started and serialized content started coming out, that was another big moment, right? When home video happened, that was another big moment. But, India is what they say now, Katha Sartako ka desh hai. We have, storytelling in our blood. It starts with jab hamari dadi nani humko kahaniyan sunati hain, and goes right up to street solo performers. You have a rich heritage of, our legends being passed down orally to us, which is another form of storytelling. So we, I think, are very open to different forms of how we get this. So OTT, yes, is giving a boost at the moment, and not too far in the future, there will again be some more ways of telling your stories out. But what remains constant, Abhinandan, always, will be the ability, like the directors, the fabulous Hardik, and when Hansal joins us as well, directors who are now bringing in different narratives and getting the opportunity of not getting tied up by having constraints that were there. Like all evolution, what happens is that constraints get reduced. So you don't have to do a one size fits all anymore, which was a theatrical experience. There are some films that are to be enjoyed theatrically. Similarly, you have series that can be told multi-seasonally, but you also have mini series. So it's now become appropriate to make stories in their best form and allowing you to watch it not by appointment, at your convenience, at the screen that you choose to watch it, at the size and at the time that you choose to watch it. So it's a win-win. It's the golden age of entertainment, be it for the creators or for the consumers.
But you've been with Netflix, and I remember, you were often in LA because I guess the Netflix office, you had to go to the head office and you guys met. Stories like, for example, The Crown, which just swept, I think, the Golden Globes, was that which is about, sorry, Emmys, yeah. Emmys. So, that's about the royal family that's still around. Some of the American series on Netflix are about political situations that are still polarizing, that are still, draw emotion. Are different markets different? Like India can tell a story about Harshad Mehta, which has some political context. It can tell a story like Patal Lok, which has certain slivers of reality. But are there different markets which are not ready as far as the community is concerned, the entertainment community, the political climate, which can tell a story that is that edgy, and others are, you think, I mean, they are not all going parallelly?
The thing is, it is never a one size fits all. There are certain stories that you would expect would be highly polarizing, even in the more sort of mature markets, as they're called, right? It also depends on like who you're speaking to, and most importantly, the intent of the filmmaker. So even across, when you see something like a Patal Lok, or you see something even like, say, Mirzapur, or for that matter on Amazon, if you see Transparent, which is a completely, it was path-breaking as a show when it came out. Again, very real, very grounded, So when you look at Crown, it's still, to me, as a viewer, much more elevated and much more kind of put together in this. We want to believe that is the entire life. There aren't necessarily the what's that you see, maybe moments, but they're not necessarily in the way that the show is treated. It's still treated in a larger than life fashion, because that's what that material requires. So similarly, like, well, we started off by saying Serious Men. I think Serious Men was based on Manu Joseph's book of the same name, which again was talking about a very prevalent, it's a question of privilege. That's what the film is essentially about. Or the other film that I had the opportunity to work on while I was in Netflix was, say, Papa Kadaigal, which was a Tamil film about honor killings. So there is a lot that happens everywhere. It's just that now the diversity of content that is available, thanks to OTT, you tend to pick and choose what you want to believe is your reality. And whether you're watching, you are watching content to be entertained, or are you watching content to escape? Are you looking at something that's inspiring and aspirational, or something that's identifiable? You have the ability to see anything that it is that you want to. I think that the intention of the filmmaker is what makes the difference in how people respond to the material. But maybe Hardik would be better spoken to this.
So Hardik, you have been a writer, and congratulations, on Patal Lok and Kamyab. I saw them very close to each other, but they weren't released very close to each other, right? I just happened to...
No, they were released actually very close, because Kamyab released 13th March, all theaters got closed. And then it came on Netflix on 2nd May, and Patal Lok came on Amazon Prime on 15th May. So May 2020 was the year where I arrived when the world stopped, actually.
Yes,
so it was kind of funny.
Sadly, I was like, it was really edgy. There was a lot of, political context to Patal Lok. And of course, Kamyab was a nostalgic look at the character actors of the 80s and 70s. But and now you're creating, tell us what you're making, when you answer the question. But is there ever a doubt कि यार इतना edgy नहीं बनाते, ये story अभी तैयार नहीं है market? To what extent, जैसे journalist का हाथ रुका रहता है आजकल कि भाई कौन सी story बताएं? To what extent do you think that is there when it comes to filmmaking. And I was keen to have Ashwin here because I have suddenly got hooked onto Malayalam cinema.
Absolutely.
And I'm just consuming so much of Malayalam content. And the stories they are able to tell, even though it is a communist government there, there's so much of humor and there's so much of ribbing of the government and the political. I don't see that in some of the other language cinema. So you tell me, you are obviously are a lot more informed and accomplished when it comes to having a grasp of this. To what extent does it hamper your creative kind of style?
Actually, more than hamper, Abhinandan, it's given us wings in a way that we never thought it would give us, as filmmakers. Because ours is actually one of the most confused, or rather say most opportunity given generation, because we came to Bombay to make films in late 2000, around late 2009-10. And that's when the whole, cinema started becoming like, it had almost become multiplex single screen ke beech ka balance ek aa chuka tha. Where we were like almost sure that अच्छा यार हम तो मल्टीप्लेक्स वाली फिल्में ही बना पाएंगे मुझे लगता है जहां तक. But by that time film started getting celluloid, मतलब गायब होने लगा, and then digital came in. Once digital came in, then you can kind of tell stories the way you wanted. So I actually started up making a short fiction, then I made a documentary, then I made a indie feature like Kamyab, then I made a commercial feature like Ruhi, and in between I had an opportunity to co-write Patal Lok. So I think we are actually a generation of filmmakers who are spoiled for the kind of platforms and mediums that are available to us. We are in a situation right now where I used to think that कि यार super hit film बनेगी ना तभी you as a filmmaker have arrived ऐसा in 90s and 2000s. That was basically the criteria for a filmmaker कि भाई मशहूर डायरेक्टर कौन है जिसने सुपर हिट फिल्म दी है. लेकिन अब वो मायने बदल चुके हैं. मतलब now we are able, like if I just take my example, I am able to do a series, a film which goes on OTT, or a theatrical like a Ruhi, which is a horror comedy, which is basically meant for all the crowd to sit together and enjoy, which probably might not land as much on a OTT platform. So, and then make a documentary also and go to festivals around, and also so that way I think filmmaking को तो जो है वो मतलब अभी मतलब it's like probably their best time around to kind of explore and make all kinds of films. But having said that, a Patal Lok really kind of OTT content kind of really gives us the push to like go out and say what we wanted to say, which probably a commercial theatrical might not give us. So that way OTT platform is actually what the multiplex multiplex chain और multiplex का आना जो एक event हुआ था mid 2000s में, वो OTT platform का आना late 2010s के decade में हुआ है, I feel.
But from the point of view of wanting to tell a story or wanting to say, क्योंकि as a writer, a lot of what you write it comes from within. Of course, there are projects that you do that are purely commercial कि भाई लिखना है तो करना है. But now, for example, I was speaking to Vishal Dadlani and Swara. Both of them we've interviewed at different times. And Swara said that she loses a lot of projects or a lot of endorsement deals because of what she says in public. Sometimes she says something. So often there are clauses in the contract कि भाई आप कुछ बोलोगे नहीं इस दौरान. Vishal का his take was different. He says यार अगर कोई आता है वो बोले मेरे पास मत आओ, अगर मुझे मुंह पे बंद करना होगा कि मैं तो जो बोलना है बोलूंगा. He says पता नहीं इसमें कमर्शियल मुझे कोई इम्पैक्ट देना, कि मुझे तो नहीं लगता, मुझे मेरा बिजनेस जबरदस्त चल रहा है. तो does it, do you have considerations कि बॉस अगर मैं ये कहानी बताऊंगा इसका कुछ नेगेटिव रिस्पॉन्स हो जाएगा, let me not touch it. Does that ever
enter your mind? There is that sense of now, I mean, you can say that you have to be very safe about it. When Swara says something like that if it is put into her contract, she's not wrong entirely, and it is a kind of a situation where and I mean, very honestly, see, they are artists who have to face cameras. We are people who probably have to kind of write and create stuff where we feel that even if you say some things in a certain way, the discerning audience can still catch it. And at the same time, you don't need to go completely out there and make a halla about it. Because, I mean, I delve into slice of life and comedies. So for me, it is much more important that the series or whatever OTT content that we are going with it, we also have the opportunity to tell a hard reality, but at the same time, हम उसको एक sugar coated pill के साथ भी बोल सकते हैं चीजें. I mean, although Patal Lok was not one of them. Patal Lok was like all threats bare out there. Like, we were sure that, the fault lines with India, which we think they are, whether it is religion, caste, gender, class, it is something that we definitely wanted to put out there. And that is exactly what the four assassins in the series represented, and of course came from different regions and all of that, and that actually kind of helped also, because Patal Lok was a very noir investigative kind of drama. The next series that I am doing, it is actually which I am directing and showrunning, it's called Decoupled, and it's a comedy series, but it also is about a man who actually ends up offending the nation somehow, whether but that's a comedy. So how do you try and work out things there where you are basically trying to tell the point which today's discerning and OTT viewing audience is getting it, at the same time you are not kind of ensuring that at the big corridors you are not making too much sure also, so yeah, that's the kind of fine balance we are going for today.
Okay, now Srichi, when it comes to finding new stories, new artists, new writers, new talent like Hardik, at one point multiplexes are supposed to do that, कि भाई multiplex में आई है तो छोटी फिल्में भी, like I think वो R.D. Burman की Jhankar Beats, that was like a small film that did really well, but after that that whole thing didn't like sustain कि भाई छोटी फिल्मों का अब दौर चलेगा. The blockbuster still prevailed, and there was that expectation कि जब ये Apple phone पे क्या music होता है, iTunes वाला music, कि भाई now any artist can put it up there. And I read a data point, in fact, just a week or two before, I was listening to a podcast. 99% of all streaming that happens on this music is of some, I think, I may be a little off on the data, but it's like 2% of the artists. So the expectation ki indie artists would get a huge audience, the majority of the streaming is still dominated by just the big Beyonce level stars. So has that happened? Because I've been told with OTT also they would prefer it if you have a Farhan Akhtar type name associated with, a Hardik type name associated, or Hansal associated with it. Has that?
मेरा नाम नहीं है अभी, but मेरा नाम अगर ऐसा आ जाएगा तो बहुत बड़ी बात हो जाएगी. But thank you.
अरे you're too modest, Hardik. But
please go ahead with your question.
Is there that danger of the big game shifting to a different place, and what that canvas was supposed to accomplish doesn't quite accomplish? Do you see that danger?
That's a great question, but I think that at the end of the day, we have to understand that everybody is running a business, right? So wherever there's a demand, the supply will be in that direction. The ability to do specific, like we were talking about Malayalam cinema a little while ago, this is my personal opinion, that when you are speaking to a more homogenous audience, you can be much more authentic and you can be a lot more elevated in your storytelling. But the minute you go broad, which is something that you'll see even globally, like your big blockbusters that work worldwide are generally your Marvel movies, your superhero or your big sci-fi action, VFX heavy films, because they don't need any cultural nuancing or understanding. So that will always be broad. But what I wonder often is that, is it right for us to always compare everything in terms of success, right? You have to know that when you're making a piece of content, if you're doing it, what is the best way to tell this story? Is it to be more, is it a story that's more in broad strokes? Is it more in nuances? And then to adapt it to talk to that audience. What is the key word that my learning has been over the last couple of years is authenticity, because the audience smells what you're going for. If you can say that we are talking about a world, यहाँ पे जब बारिश होती है तो गाने भी बजते हैं, ये हमारी दुनिया है, then you have to stay true to that world, so the rules don't apply. What happens often is that we try to say that, we want diverse content, but in the diversity we don't want what was mainstream earlier. But you see, it's not an either or, it's थाली. आपको परवल अगर नहीं पसंद है तो आप पालक खा लो, लेकिन दोनों है, जिसको जो पसंद है वो खाएगा, लेकिन आलू तो सबको पसंद है ना, तो आप आलू क्यों नहीं बनाओगे? आपको मालूम है ये तो हिट है वैसे भी.
That's very well put. I must say that.
Actually, I just want to add something there, Abhinandan. What you questioned, and actually even Netflix, if I just say, they actually have been giving the window to those kind of films, like, Meel Patthar or A Disciple have released on Netflix for people who actually want to watch, I mean, I was hearing Vikram Motwane on a Spotify podcast, and he actually mentioned that indie is dead now. जो 2010-11 में मतलब जब उड़ान और लव सेक्स और धोखा और तेरे बिन लादेन और वो जो पूरा एक फेज आया था ना, जब इतनी छोटी बढ़िया फिल्में मतलब बन रही थी, वो अभी ऑलमोस्ट काइंड ऑफ डेड हो गया है, अनफॉर्चुनेटली. बट हैविंग सेड दैट, आई मीन फिल्म मेकर्स लाइक चैतन्य तमाने, who is absolutely, we all filmmakers are a fan of, is making the way he is able to, and at the same time Netflix is giving them Disciple a platform also. It's just that लोग नहीं देख रहे, या पता नहीं लोगों के पास इतने ऑप्शन आ चुके हैं अब. बट एट द सेम टाइम व्हेन चैतन्य मेड कोर्ट, इट रिलीज थिएट्रिकली एंड इट डिड सो वेल आल्सो, सो आई एम श्योर देयर इज दैट. बट वो मार्केट जो है वो बहुत कम हो गया है ऑफ दोस छोटा फिल्म्स. एंड देन दोस छोटा फिल्म्स हैव काइंड ऑफ बिकम अ वेरी, they have kind of metamorphosized into a very different kind of way. They have come out, like for example Paglet. Now Paglet was actually a great ensemble film which actually पता नहीं थिएटर में आती तो गायब हो जाती, या और अ फिल्म लाइक कामयाब, थिएटर में हम आए थे लेकिन हम बागी 3 के साथ आए थे. जयपुर से मेरा फ्रेंड मुझे फोन कर रहा है कि यार 2 ही शो है जयपुर के मेरे मल्टीप्लेक्स में, एक सुबह 9:30 का है और एक रात को 11:45 का है, तो वो कहां से देखने जाएगा, क्योंकि हमको इस तरह की टाइमिंग दे रखी है. बट द मोमेंट कामयाब केम ऑन नेटफ्लिक्स, एवरीबडी सॉ इट, एंड थैंक्स टू लॉकडाउन और थैंक्स टू मिस्टर शाहरुख खान, it just became like, that month I was so inundated with messages that मेरा पूरा lockdown लोगों को reply करने में चला गया. So there is that space that OTT has kind of created also. But yeah, I mean the audience also needs to be, which is what the Malayalam audience is doing. They are very very enjoying their own films, their world, and Malayalam filmmakers को हमारी जैसी जो audience मिल रही है वो तो उनका बोनस ही है. मतलब बिकॉज दे आर डेफिनेटली मेकिंग. आज मैं जलीकट्टू का मेकिंग देख रहा था, अभिनंदन, यू वोंट बिलीव, देयर इज a YouTube 14-minute video that they have released. The kind of madness Lijo has done for that animal to be running in the jungle with men running with those flames and रात के अंधेरे में कीचड़ में, it's mad.
And it was so authentic, especially when it falls into the well. That scene, I was like, how did they make that scene? Not a single person seemed out of place. But Srishti, that was a really insightful answer actually. That the narrower the more homogeneous the audience, the more nuanced your storytelling can be, and the more freedom you have to tell that kind of story. But I mean, I don't expect you to give away trade secrets or breach of contract when you work for large companies like Netflix. But typically, the people who may be watching, who are budding filmmakers, budding writers, when you are sitting in a position as powerful, it's the equivalent of the commissioning editor of a Disney studio. I mean, Netflix is the Disney of today. In fact, the valuation of OTTs is more than the valuation of studios that are 100 years old. Do you look at a story or a proposal that comes? I mean, do you guys go through some sort of a training on seeing the numbers worldwide? This is what works, this is what works. There are certain formulae, there are certain rules of thumbs. Is it entirely Srishti's aesthetic, what she goes with? Yeah, this sounds good, I don't have to explain it. Do you go with, okay, this much of my basket has to be, it's like, diversified portfolio, big stars, big names, track that. How does someone who pitches to you, what are they dealing with? Who's sitting on that side? What's going on in your mind when you're commissioning?
That's a full-on breach of contract conversation that you're asking me. No, I think there's something that I've always maintained, which I will say is that it's a very human process. If you are going to be data-driven, then you don't need human beings sitting there, right? I also do personally believe that beauty comes out of error. Beauty comes out of imperfection. So, if we were to put everything into a machine and pull it out, then everything would look the same, because there wouldn't be any difference. It's a perspective. It's the same, you can make like Hardik was pointing out correctly about Decoupled, right? I think what you mentioned is it's a comedy, but the man ends up offending the world, right? And you could do that as a very serious film as well, materially, right? It could be a man who ends up offending the world without intending to, and it could be very serious and not funny. So it depends on how that you're going to say it. It's always the vision of the creator, to my mind, and the way that they can communicate their story. The scale is something that you need to keep in mind, because again, going back to what I started with was that, if you want to be true to the material, then you've got to be really authentic with what you're saying, and you've got to know who you're speaking to. एक ये मेरी audience क्या है? हमारी audience 4 साल से लेके 80 साल तक सबको पसंद आएगी picture. Bro, it doesn't work like that. And the number of times you hear that, it's incredible. You know, I had the privilege of working across in Netflix as well as in my shows or in my films earlier. Even as a producer, I had introduced 2 new directors. One was male, one was female. Kapil Sharma and Anu Menon. And similarly, we had a 50% representation of women even in Netflix when I was working there. And what happens is that it's a story that needs to speak to you, you know, and it has to be true to where it's coming from. It cannot be Shrishti's aesthetic or anybody's aesthetic, because you're not talking to just one viewer. You know, that's the beauty of a distribution service like streaming, that you can watch what you want at your own time and free of judgment, because you could be watching.
So do you have to make a conscious decision to say, okay, let me not just look at it from my perspective, let me look at it from, I mean, like if I'm listening to a story, sometimes a story can be really appealing to me because it speaks to me at one level, but I may be aware that it isn't a story that everybody may, you know, appreciate. So how difficult is it to tread that line? That you have to be
That's the job.
You have to also be convinced that others will be excited by it.
That's the job. No, that's the filmmaker. It's always the filmmaker, because you take a lot of material. You know, I was talking to an actress today on a slightly side note. I don't know if it laterally joins into this point. And she was talking about, oh, you know, how they do it in the West and how the ensembles are. And I was like, if I was to offer you the role of the girl who's bitchy to the heroine, who's anyway suffering because she has a really mean boss. It's a coming of age story of this girl. But you have to play like her second lead to her, who's always trying to be mean, but in the end she wins. Would you do the role? No, you know, it depends. I said, well, that was Emily Blunt in Devil Wears Prada. Right? But it's the magic of filmmaking that comes together and how people kind of relate to things. So many people, you know, we hear all these stories about many actors who were not the first choice for the films that they did. You know, you would assume that, say, when you take a film like Gully Boy, that Zoya Akhtar didn't have to take a rank newcomer in the role of Ranveer Singh's mentor, but she pulled, you know, the way that whole thing came together was just incredible. So what happens is that it's a lot of chemistry that comes together, and that conviction comes from the filmmaker, and that needs to translate. Yes, you need to know, because, you know, and I'm just going to go back one point and say, like, we were talking about Malayalam cinema because right now it's all the fad. But when you're talking about Chaitanya, you are talking about Disciple and you're talking about Court, which are both Marathi films. So again, that goes back to saying you have some fantastic Bengali films. You have some smaller Tamil films, which are incredible. You had seen even earlier, like say 1984, that happened in Punjabi, you know, being like a really, really grounded, authentic film. So you just need to know that if you want to make this for this audience, it needs to be successful to its own parameters. It's a simple thing that if you are going to, you know, it's like what you have to get what you pay for. So you need to be aware of what you're putting together. So when you talk about, say, Love, Sex or Dhoka, or you talk about Udaan, what were those budgets? You know, where was it scaled at? And how many of those filmmakers are today willing to do films at that scale? Because they also knew that they were doing something that was path-breaking. It's not like, I'm sure Hardik could have easily spent X, Y, Z crores more on his film. You know, it's not like he couldn't have gotten those cameos, or he couldn't have used that equipment, or he couldn't have taken that extra number of days. But I'm sure that the passion that you see in that film came from, like, I am very clear what is important to this film, because that's what's going to communicate with people. Because, you know, I don't know whether it was a filmy thing or not, but it was also not the most comfortable viewing, because it's pulling at certain things in you, which are not the best parts of human beings, right?
Right.
But it's packaged in this beautiful way that it becomes accessible to more people. So knowing who your audience is the main thing. And as a commissioning person, knowing who you're making what for, and therefore what scale it needs to be at, I think would be something to keep in mind.
Right. I just like to, before moving to Hardik, remind our audience, you can leave your questions at the mediarumble.com/live in the comment section, mediarumble.com/live. and my colleague will pass those questions on. I'll start taking questions after another 5 or 10 minutes.
Abhinandan, on just another side note, what Srishti was mentioning about the actor that she was offering the role. Yesterday in a party we were discussing that के almost कामयाब की antithesis हो चुकी है 2021 में कि कुछ तो स्टार्स घर पे खाली बैठे हैं लेकिन बाकी जो एक्टर्स है ना वो इतने बिजी हैं कि मतलब आपको फरवरी 2022 की डेट मिलती है जो आपको 2 साल पहले कल मिल रही थी. But because of the plethora of content that is right now happening, all kinds of films or series and stuff being made, so many good actors in today's day and age, a good actor technician खाली नहीं बैठ सकते क्योंकि कितनी opportunities available है यार. Imagine some of these actors मतलब they are so busy के मतलब जो character actor जो हम कहते थे कि भाई अरे सुबह फोन कर लेंगे शाम की शिफ्ट के लिए आ जाएंगे. No boss, वो फरवरी 2022 की तुम्हें डेट दे रहा है. So it just goes to show.
That's actually very good to know. I mean, it's fantastic that talent like that is being rewarded, and we've seen so much. Pankaj Tripathi, Nawazuddin. There's so many people who you see today who will not be the conventional. But Hardik, what Srishti was saying, I had heard a podcast by Christopher Lydon. In fact, he's spoken at the Media Rumble 2 years ago. He's considered the father of the podcast. He was discussing with academics, and wahan to they do so much research on films, PhDs kar rahe hain Ivy Leagues mein on Quentin Tarantino and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino took a story which had rocked Hollywood. Matlab on the Polanski,
Manson,
the Sharon Tate's murders, and on the Manson murders, there have been books written. There have been he took that and it completely changed the ending. Made it a fantasy, and yet it could offend so many people because, I mean, I didn't know, I'm learning all this now when I'm reading and listening, that it changed Hollywood. Like those murders changed Hollywood in a very dramatic way. It changed the way people made films because it was such a big deal. It shook Hollywood like nothing had. And someone like Tarantino can take it and just give it a different twist with the confidence that he did. And he can get people to do small roles for him who are big stars, like Srishti said. How difficult is that here? Do you think here, you could go to an A-list star and say, there's this 5-minute role. When are our stars going to love the craft enough to say yes to those roles, or is that already happening? We just don't know.
No. That completely happens only by access. That is the stuff that can happen in Om Shanti Om or Zero, but or maybe Zoya's film. But that kind of thing doesn't happen for us. But yes, what has happened is that an A-lister or a very big superstar is accessible now because even he or she has understood the importance of content, and he or she cannot rely on. Earlier it used to be like हम जूहू के दोस्ती फिल्म बना लेंगे, मतलब वो एक उनका जो एक या हम बैंड्रा बॉयज मिलके एक वो कर लेंगे, मतलब अब वो नहीं रहा है. Now everybody is out there to, I mean, thanks to really amazing stars like Ayushmann Khurrana for example. I mean, because he has actually, I mean, can you imagine a superstar at the top of his career doing a film about homophobia in Shubh Mangal Zyada Saavdhan. Now whether it works or not is something completely different, but I mean, imagine that kind of he's able to do that in today's day and age and release it theatrically, and it's not like an indie film or an OTT film or something like that. He did it as a theatrical film, which was quite brave, I think. So yes, there is access to some of these people, but then कि मैंने जब बचपन में गोलमाल देखी थी ऋषिकेश मुखर्जी, तो उसमें अमोल पालेकर के गाने में था सपने में देखा एक सपना, वो जो है ना अमिताभ अपना, और उसमें अमिताभ बच्चन एक्चुअली भिखारी बन के बैठे हुए हैं. आई कुडंट बिलीव. मैंने वीडियो डीवीडी वो अपना वीडियो कैसेट पॉज करके मेरे पिताजी को पूछा ये सच में अमिताभ है क्या?
आई रिमेम्बर दैट.
ऋषिदा की फिल्मों के लिए तो मतलब बच्चन साहब जो भी कर लेते थे, मतलब छोटे रोल भी कर लेते थे. बट I think in today's day and age, access matters in that kind of a scenario a lot. If tomorrow I go with a script where I need a certain star, then I need to have a Netflix or a Amazon or that kind of some very big entity also shouldering me, or say a Red Chillies where a Shah Rukh Khan is presenting or producing my film, then I can go and have an access. But as a individual who's just turned filmmaker 2 years back, that's kind of difficult, and
but I'm guessing it would be the same there. I mean, Tarantino also, I guess,
you are talking about. Yeah, I was just saying you're talking about Tarantino.
But even with Tarantino, even with something like the Tribeca Festival, I think that's supported by Robert De Niro, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
They
yes,
put
yes.
they put a lot of effort and their personal brand and equity into supporting this kind of stuff. We are still not there yet, right? I mean,
No.
Supporting what is the question?
smaller films, which are not necessarily projects made for, because this is something that it's
So the other good thing, Abhinandan, is that some of the stars are actually presenting and producing
yes,
some of this
that's
content.
happening. A lot of that is happening. I agree.
Which is actually great, because a lot of stars are, like, say, supporting a Marathi film, or that way a Telugu film, or like Shah Rukh Khan supported Kamyab. I mean, I remember when Drishyam and we had made this film and we were doing festival rounds and we didn't know what to do, तो हम एक लिस्ट बना रहे थे कि हम सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर्स कोई किस किस को जानते हैं जिनको हम ये कह पाएंगे कि हमारा ट्रेलर आप ट्वीट करना या शेयर करना ताकि हमारे फिल्म की विजिबिलिटी थोड़ी सी बढ़ सके. एंड देन व्हेन वी गेट टू नो दैट शाहरुख खान इज गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस द फिल्म एंड प्रेजेंटिंग इट एंड ही इज गोइंग टू ट्वीट द पोस्टर एंड ट्रेलर, तो मैंने सोचा हट, अब तो किसकी जरूरत है पूछने की, मतलब कि you have to be living under the rock to not
Now
know
I have the Badshah, Ekka Badshah.
Yeah.
No, but
I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff is happening. Like, Anurag Kashyap presents so many wonderful films.
Yes, exactly. I've quoted this often, and this is not my thesis. This was told to me as the thesis of an Parsi critic of Indian origin who was British. And the thesis was that the reason the Indian film industry is the only film industry that can give Hollywood a run for its money. And when I was young, I guess, especially when we were young, I don't know whether Bombay में होता था, लेकिन दिल्ली में बड़ा शौक था. सीरी फोर्ट में इरानियन फिल्म फेस्टिवल हो रहा है, हम इरानियन फिल्म फेस्टिवल अटेंड करने जा रहे हैं. फ्रेंच फिल्म फेस्टिवल हो रहा है, क्योंकि थोड़ी तो फिल्म ही देख लेते और थोड़ा एंगल हो जाता है, भाई वहां पर कोई इंटेलेक्चुअल स्टिमुलेशन होगा तो हम लड़कियों को इम्प्रेस करेंगे. इरानियन सिनेमा डाइड. The whole French cinema is hardly a patch of what was promised back then. And the reason told to me was that, like Hollywood, you have to have market. I mean, it has to have a really huge market, so you make a lot of money. And at the same time, the craft has to be kept alive by artists who are in love with the craft and not with the business. And India has that. It has those who are just doing the dabang shabang. मतलब उनको craft से लेना देना नहीं है. And at the same time, you have guys who are going for the craft. As long as you have both these, that industry cannot die. And India has that, and Hollywood has that, and very few industries in the world have that. And
Korea has it.
Korea, okay,
yeah, that's a great
Korea, of course, the
example.
government supports it so much. The government has really pushed, government resources to make K-pop a reality, Korean cinema a reality. But I'll last question, then I'll start taking the questions because they've started coming of the audience. Srishti, that now that you are back on this side, what are you thinking of making? Because that will give us an insight on what to look out for. So, what is your next venture going to be? What is your next production going to be?
No, well, it's a little early for that, but I just hope that it's going to, have a lot of lessons that have been learned, and a lot of creative young filmmakers who are straining at the leash to tell the story that they want to, and to make sure that, that to keep an eye on the audience and not to get carried away either by the business or by the craft, and to find that middle ground, because that's eventually what's going to make a difference. You see, the ability to do something also comes from the visualization, right? And it's also like we want to really always praise XYZ and run down XYZ, but everybody needs to exist. Like to your point itself, Abhinandan, what you were saying about the critic, who was talking about the fact that you need to have a market, you need to have the potential of the business for the craft to be alive as well. Because today, if you see, even a lunchbox was supported by Karan Johar. Exactly. And so was a Bahubali was supported by Karan Johar as well.
And you can't have that you can't have that playground if no one has made the playground big enough to play on.
Yeah.
And that only comes with scale.
And I think that what would be really nice is that we all start feeling happy with each other's success. And that's, where it's going to make the biggest difference. And not to, it's not an either or. We are a country that's hungry for stories, and there's somebody, if you're telling your story and you're telling your truth, there is somebody out there waiting to know it. It's just that we don't have to look here and look there and see ke wo kya kar raha hai, ye kya kar raha hai. To this point as well. I mean, there are enough of people, like I do not remember, Hardik, you may know the name. Who's directing that? Rajesh Bhai Jordar or whatever with Ranveer Singh is doing.
Jayesh Bhai Jordar.
Jayadar, huh?
Divyang
new,
Thakkar. Divyang Thakkar.
New director, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
You know, so there's enough and more happening. Every generation has seen this. You had a Dibakar who came out of nowhere. You had Vikram. Well, yes, he's a Juhu boy, but he really wasn't part of any sort of circle, so to speak. You've always had a Shah Rukh Khan. You've always had an Akshay Kumar. Today you have a Ayushmann Khurrana and you have a Vicky Kaushal. But the parallel to Vicky Kaushal was actually Ajay Devgan. So, you know, it's always been there. And I just feel that, you know, when people start talking about like pehle jab hota tha, it's only when you become old that you think pehle jab hota tha. When you're young and you're contemporary, then you feel that I will make it happen.
In fact, that's what you're saying at Karan Johar, and I think the film where all these stars make entries. What was that song sequence that you talked about? That was from Om Shanti Om.
Om Shanti Om.
Farah Khan.
But that happened in Naseeb also, if you remember. John, Johnny, Janardhan, where they just do that one entry and go. So I guess it's happened before. It's like they say every generation thinks they've invented a new sex position. No, you haven't. It's been done before. So I'll start taking the questions. This is from Ayush. By the way, I apologize to my audience that Hansal couldn't make it. We'll make it up to you. We'll get him for sure on another panel, you know, later in the year. That's the advantage of there's one advantage of having the Media Rumble online, that you get people from all over the world. We have some fantastic panelists from places where they wouldn't usually come because of age and etc. The downside is that when we have it virtually, other engagements can keep people away. But once you have them here, then they're captive. They are in your hotel. Then they have to, you know, show up. But we will make that up to you. So Ayush Yadav says, why have mainstream Hindi films completely stopped telling stories of Indian Muslims or representing them without stereotyping the community, whether positive or negative? Evergreen films like Garam Hawa might not be made in today's political context. Is the changing demographic of the industry a reflection of the political scenario post-90s? So before you answer, I'll let either of you take it. Ayush, I don't know whether you've seen Gully Boy. It blasted stereotypes. It was a work of genius. I loved it. I just thought it had a political comment without being in your face. And I think there is film being made, but Hardik, Srishti, you want to take that?
But his question is kind of right also. While I was also thinking when you were reading the question, the answer I also thought was Gully Boy. But then in so much content, so many things being made, and if Muslims are say a 23%, 20% of the population of the nation, then only one Gully Boy we can think of. You know, so there is definitely that. But there is another very nice small indie film called Ani Mani that got made, and movie released it recently, which is again a very great, interesting, insight into a normal lower middle class Muslim household, which is also made by Fahim, who is my junior from Jamia, and who's obviously given a very interesting insight into a small town UP butcher's family. You know, so there is being made. But yeah, I kind of agree with what Ayush is also saying, that of course the climate is such that there is not something that we would think the first thing and we would risk our next 1.5 years making in it. Matlab, you know, if I was given a choice, I would rather say, okay, let me make a light-hearted comedy, because एक बार मैं जब फिल्म बनाने की कोशिश करूंगा तो वो मेरा 1.5 साल ले लेगी जिंदगी का. तो मुझे नहीं पता अगले 1.5 साल में क्लाइमेट कहाँ जाने वाला है, लेकिन एटलीस्ट लाइट हार्टेड कॉमेडी तो फिर भी चलने ही वाली है. You know, so yes, there is that issue of the changing demographics in the current political scenario.
I would look at it a little differently. Oh my God, the tragedy of thinking back to which was the last film that came, because there hasn't been a launch in the theaters. Like, we had Ruhi briefly, but the theaters have been shut and I can't wait for it to open again. It's been so long. And then you go back to it, like you say, like a Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and then you're like, okay, oh my God, then yes, of course, Gully Boy. But I think the heartening sign is that it's not becoming only about a Hindu or a Muslim. So if you're doing a Muslim film, like Gully Boy has shown us, it doesn't have to be Muslim social or like, oh my God, they're Muslims. They happen to be, Muslims. And that's what I really loved about it. I loved that about Ruchi Narayanan when I worked on a film called Guilty with her. And the lawyer in the film, his name was Amar or something to begin with. And then halfway through, she said, oh, she changed his name. And she said, no, I just want him to be a Muslim. It had no reflection, because actually in real life, when you're across, it doesn't have
It wasn't a statement. It wasn't a political. It was just, by the way.
It's just representation. It's the same way that, you long for the day that you're not looked at and said that, as a female producer, you just want to become a producer one day. You don't want it to be a highlight that you're a female. It's similarly, I just feel that all communities, because enough for whether it is South Indians, Northeastern, there's so much to show, so that it becomes hard to kind of put it together. But yes, definitely we aren't doing anything that's more typical. Although on TV it's still happening, so I don't know how much we can argue
That's
about
a different world altogether. मतलब वो उनके तो memes आते हैं तब पता चलता है अच्छा ये वो जानबूझ के कर रहे हैं कि मतलब लैपटॉप को मतलब धुलवा रहे हैं. Or I don't know.
Yeah, but I do think we have 4 questions. I'll quickly like to take them because we have another 10 minutes. So Hannah, we have 10 more minutes. Is that right?
Fine, Abhinandan, we'll keep it short.
Okay, so Hannah, because we have a lot of questions, and I will say this too, Ayush's question, that Ayush actually, a friend of mine who actually teaches screenwriting in NYU, she wrote Monsoon Wedding and Kamine, and she does a lot of stuff with Vishal. She is actually teaching a paper on this, and she said actually today there is a little more representation in a diverse way. Earlier, the Muslim always had to be Patan ka bachcha, hum tumhara, yari hai, iman. He had to be super loyal to prove his loyalty. He couldn't be a grey character. Pran had to be super loyal, or he had to be Haji Mastan type smuggler. There wasn't that fine, I'm Muslim, I'm grey. If you were Muslim and you're a good guy, you were more loyal than Vijay. And if you're the bad guy, then you're the bad guy. So actually we have more nuance here. But Srishti, to your point, I think to normalize what you're talking about, there has to be enough instance for it to become normal. And I think that is a bigger problem with the representation of castes in Indian cinema, which is why I was very keen to have Ashwin Nadon here. I highly recommend everybody watches Mandela. It is a Tamil film.
Super.
It is an outstanding film. I think it should be sent to the Oscars.
Yes.
It tells the story of caste in a way which is masterful. And it's a pity that Ashwin had that accident, because that representation, I think, is what is lacking most in cinema, and not a religion to that extent.
I don't think I have seen a better interval point also in films since last 2 years. The way it basically takes the camera up and both sides divided, it was brilliant.
It was brilliant.
I think you have to get Ashwin and Hansal and do a separate session.
Yeah,
man.
Because Hardik and I talk too much.
Okay, so Prateek says, this is a very technical question. So how do you view the abolition of FC80 and the proposal by Centre to have revisionary powers to review films already cleared by CFBC based on complaints?
वो तो यार अब थिएटर खुलेंगे फिर सेंसरशिप होगा ना. अब तो जब तक नहीं है तब तक खेलो आराम से.
तब तक नेचर ने स्टे ऑर्डर लगा दिया है.
Yeah.
Okay. Amit Gupta says, has Indian cinema turned the corner with the quality of script writing and storytelling? I mean, we've discussed that at length in the beginning, but you want to give a short answer to this? Have we really turned the corner?
We are on the verge of it, to be honest. We have not like completely revamped, and we are now only looking. I mean, there are some really interesting ideas and concepts which earlier we thought would never make it to visual screen, has actually happened, but having said that, we are still like in the phase of something like that great happening. I mean, like an A24 happening in India, which kind of comes up with what kind of films, amazing kind of films that A24 keeps dishing us. I mean, I don't know whether we have that yet or not. I mean, Srishti can tell more actually.
No, I mean, I'll also keep it really quick, but I think we need to be able to educate our writers as well as empower them a lot more. We still find very, very few career writers because of various constraints in the business. But now with OTT, there is being a correction, especially in the payments and stuff like that, for people to be able to sustain in that. I'm sorry, but it's a technical answer, but that's the truth. If a writer doesn't have to aspire to have a particular life only when he becomes a director or a producer, similarly with a DOP or an editor, because once we give that, because that's the bedrock.
The biggest change maker is the economics. Once that is sorted, makes biggest, absolutely.
Also the bhedchal, Abhinandan, I will tell you, because the thing is that everybody starts going in one direction, and it's really interesting. And obviously we don't have enough time, but I could take you through, like, even the most acclaimed and the most loved people fall into their own patterns. It's similarly going back to saying that, right now you can't find the dates of character actors, but that's because now that those guys are successful, everybody wants to work with them, and they're not looking for the next Pankaj Tripathi or the next Nawaz, So they're wonderful and they should be celebrated. But similarly, what happens is that we tend to catch on to that. Sometimes it's something that we will give the right to somebody who came out of the blue or did something really different to repeat themselves again and again because we are comfortable with that. But if somebody's doing something that we're not comfortable with, then we tend to call it different names. But that's a longer discussion.
Tanuj Anand says, is the audience there? Sher Shah's famous scene inspired from Barka's interviewing the real Sher Shah, that is, Vikram Batra. People in the same breath appreciate the movie scene, but they trash Barkha in Kargil coverage. Sorry, this Krishnan, no, this is Tanuj's question. Tanuj, actually to that, I would suggest don't read the comment section of anything. It doesn't, social media just is like is a release, is like catharsis. I think it's, you guys want to weigh in on people may appreciate something in cinema, but not appreciate in real life. It's like...
And vice versa.
And vice versa, correct. But I think that's not new. That's been there forever. Then Krishnan is asking, do you think stories will be made closer to smaller and smaller towns in the future? Well, they're already going to small towns, but yeah, do you ever think they're going like Bareilly Ki Barfi and all these films in Kanpur or Gulabo Sitabo, a small mohalla? Do we see it going smaller into villages?
Yeah, I very good examples of last year's success are Jamtara and Panchayat. They are fantastic stories coming from the kind of towns we all have in metros not even heard of. So I thought it was a great the kind of stuff that OTT is allowing right now. A Panchayat is so endearing, and at the same time, small town hai to matlab wahan pe wo typical problems ho rahe honge, or small town typical cliche representation bilkul nahi hai. It was such a nice, heartwarming engineer come MBA kind of a guy landing up in a rural area, which is what happens because my father also used to work in bank और उनका rural posting एक बार कहीं बड़ौदा के गांव के पास हुआ था और वो देख के पंचायत बोल रहे थे यही होता है यार, ये कितना अच्छा दिखाया बताओ मतलब and Jamtara is also something that we all know, there is a whole different kind of a underbelly of this stuff that keeps happening which we all have heard of, but now we are actually a representation there. So yeah, I think the smaller towns we go, it would actually, like what Srishti said, authenticity of that storytelling will bring us filmmakers from small town to here to tell those stories of small town.
And Srishti, I guess internet penetration, as it goes further down, you'll see that in the content also change. Earlier...
I don't believe that it is that only a small town person will watch a small town material.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, it's like when those NRI films were, it was not like they were working outside the country, they were working in India also. When we had that, right? A good story, well told, will work. It is, to my mind, the influx of creators coming from those areas that's allowing those stories to come out. And eventually, they're all human stories. Nor us hote hain. Usme hi khilna hai.
Okay.
It's not like aap Lucknow mein rehte hain, so you have a different emotion from somebody who lives in Delhi. And Lucknow is not a small town. Just want to specify.
Lucknow is the next film city, Abhinandan, if you don't know. Lucknow is the next film city.
He's got to Jamtara, you're like Lucknow and Bhopal are small towns.
No, but okay, then Krishnan says, by the way, sorry to we have a podcast called The Awful and Awesome Entertainment Rap. It's a pop culture podcast. We had audience writing into us. So one of the audience said that, you guys are talking about cinema, that, what is robust, but when you talk about big cities like Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, usse sab dal diya, different kind of cinema. But when you talk about Calcutta, Lucknow, Agra, so my co-host is Bengali from Calcutta. She says, who has written this letter? So I guess there are some biases there. Bengali, she says, every great filmmaker is from Calcutta. How has this person written this letter? Krishnan says, do you think stories will be made? Sorry, I've already taken that question. Okay, we'll take this as the last question because we're already at 9:30. Could India ever win an Oscar for Best Foreign Film? Or is it not an ambition for our filmmakers? They don't care about winning that Oscar? Or do they?
Srishti should answer this first.
I can actually, but it'll take me a little more than a minute.
Go for it. That's fine.
There are many, many wheels within wheels. I personally don't think that we need to find validation from the Oscars. We should be making great films and developing our own awards. We have the national awards as well. Secondly, we need to understand that India is much more than just the Hindi film industry. It's a very, very big and robust movie business that has many regions and great cinema. It becomes very hard to pick what it is that's going to work. There is a whole system of making sure that your content is viewed by the right people for the voters of the academy, which is very time consuming and very expensive to do as well. And sometimes what happens is that in an effort to not make sure, it's a little bit of, it's a chicken and egg situation. You need to have a filmmaker who will be able to pump that kind of money so that the film is viewed and can deliver those contacts. But at the same time, you want to make sure that it's not just the big filmmakers who manage to take their films over there. And then, of course, then there's always a committee that selects the film that will be represented from India. There are so many aspects to this. But having said that, the success of a great film is to transcend, and then everything falls into place. I don't think that thinking about it from a particular point of view, because you don't know what their flavor of the season is. What it is that the academy is eventually made up of, the number of people who are actually going to watch, especially a foreign language film. And India is still kind of related to being Bollywood. Hate that, but everything is supposed to be big time Naach Gana. I cannot tell you the number of times I've made different lists of films to tell people that there is so much more, even in Hindi, because I'm not well versed enough to be able to talk to other regions in as educated a way as I can talk to Hindi. So there's a lot of other things, but I think we need to stop looking westwards for our validation, and we need to be able to celebrate our own cinema, and everything else will follow.
Hardik,
completely agree with Srishti. I just feel like कि यार मतलब आप रहमान साहब को स्लमडॉग मिलियनेयर के लिए ऑस्कर दे रहे हो, अगर आपने दिल्ली सिख सुना हो और आपके पास वो कान हो तो आप चेन्नई उनको ऑस्कर देंगे यार, उनको वहां नहीं बुलाएंगे. So I definitely feel that कि मतलब we should not be, but in the process of making a good film, if it leads to an Oscar, why not? Definitely. But having said that, जैसे हमारे यहाँ मतलब I mean lunch box को हम नहीं बेच पाए थे यार. I mean I can't still believe, तो मतलब हम actually Oscar deserve नहीं करते अगर हम लोग lunch box को नहीं बेच पाए.
But was it the official entry? It was
no. In fact, The Good Road करके कोई एक random सी गुजराती फिल्म थी जो अचानक.
So see that, Hardik, I'm going to push back really strongly on you for this. Because जिसने Good Road बनाई, उसने world की best film बनाई थी.
Sure.
But हमारी sensibility
but Lunchbox was so much.
So look, Lunchbox was a wonderful movie. A lot of my friends worked on it. I brought it up early in the conversation. So please don't misconstrue this as my dislike. I haven't watched Good Road. All I know is that
I have seen it. That is why I felt that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that everybody. See, also Lunchbox, was it truly representative of Indian cinema, of the Indian viewing? I'm not saying Good Road was either.
But I think in India
it's Western lens, right? And if you want to also look at things and say like some Slumdog was not an Indian film.
Yeah,
no, not at all. Definitely not.
No, it wasn't. But I will say that, I mean, of course, there could be no Indian cinema that would be representative of India because it is so diverse. But I will say to that question, and at the risk of sounding biased, and again, Srishti may not agree with it. There is a film that would have won the best film. I think I'm biased because I worked on it as a camera assistant. Monsoon Wedding, that won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. That year, I remember Lagan was picked. Now, I don't know whether it would have qualified because Mira isn't technically Indian, but I think that film transcended language, class, caste, nationality. I have met people like Israelis who have seen it there back then. I believe we have had films that would have won, but
that was not an Indian film.
Yeah, I mean that, like I said, it.
But again, वो Salaam Bombay तो हुई थी nominate, so I don't know. It's kind of murky also. Like
yeah, exactly. I do know that there was some talk that it should be, but anyway.
Foreign language film.
No, foreign film. You know, foreign language. But we've come a long way in the Oscars now. The Korean film, it won the best film, not foreign language. I forget the name. What? Parasite.
Parasite. Huh.
It won the best film, not just foreign language. So yeah, I mean, I think the more.
I'm just saying we give it a lot more credibility than it needs. There is still a lot of making sure how do those hundreds of people end up watching it and voting for it. And that also comes, like Hardik was saying, about who
there's a lot of lobbying
and how you get that, right?
Yeah. Like there've been articles on the Academy, and it's criticized, in the Western media, like for its white bias. So, or then compensating. Last year we messed up, so let's compensate this year. There's that criticism exists, absolutely. But this has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much, Srishti, and thank you so much, Hardik, for making the time.